We're survivors held up in a warehouse. Out there, please, we need help. The zombies have been beating on the doors day and night for weeks now. I'm not sure how long we can keep them out. Hello? We need help.
Oh, holy night, the stars brightly shining. It's the night of the dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voice say, oh, night divine, the night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine, oh, night divine. Led by the light of faith serenely beaming, glowing hearts by his cradle we stand. So lit by light, our stars sweetly gleaming. Here come the wise men from Orient land. The King of Kings laid us lowly manger in all our trials, born to be our friend. Oh, fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voice say, oh, night divine, the night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born.
Why did I come here? I guess it was the weather. Left Simbar City to pursue a quieter place, I suppose. Puppets hate the cold weather. Most of them avoid snow unless they're lost or, hungry. Hunger doesn't seem to stop anyone. Either way, I assure you they don't come here by choice, not this time of the year. The very first time I killed one of those things, I've carried a sense of guilt. Don't get me wrong, I killed deer before and I know how to hunt, but there's something truly off-centered when it comes to shooting one of those things, especially something that oftentimes has a human movement to it. I try to remind myself that everything there is to them is nothing more but a flesh, and I reckon they don't feel anything anyways. Whiskey, on the other hand, becomes your best friend. That is only if you can handle yourself, of course. Anyways, that's my piece of advice, I guess. Oh, forget to mention about the gas pumps. Well, pipes freeze over and the pump has a tendency of breaking down more often than I'd like to admit. Most of the gas stations are still powered and drain juice, but lately I noticed a lot of them breaking down more, and that's been an issue around here lately. I still check the power grids and cables, making sure storms and whatnot ruins them. But I plan on heading to East Coast and settling in. My only concern is that it might flood over there, on the rainy days, but at least the food is good. Fish, most of the time. It's a 5-hour drive and I noticed the airfield close by. If I could snatch one of them birds and fix it up, it'll be a good day. Military bases on the island are filled with mechs. Those are the robots, the giant robots that roam around and shoot at everything that moves. Getting inside is one thing, getting out in one piece is another. One devil that never seems to die out, especially around this neighborhood, is, well, you guessed it, money. Every time I head to a trading outpost, I put on a mask. I'm not crazy, nor do I like Halloween, but it ain't nobody's business to know what I look like. I suggest buying weapons, a lot of them, ammunition, and get out as soon as you can. Sure, they could offer you a place to stay and a drink, but...
Welcome, welcome. Feel free to browse around.
I just wouldn't test your luck. It's not the weapon that kills, it's the guy that pulls the trigger. As far as my story, I ain't got one. I'm just a trespasser. Almost done. There she is. I'm not gonna lie, I almost thought I wouldn't be able to get you done. I've always been fascinated with space. Growing up as kids, I found myself staring up in the sky console, wondering what it's like being up there. Being elevated from everything. Now, fixing you was one part of the problem, but I gotta take care of you now, don't I? Okay. It can't be that difficult, can it? Wow. Alright. Safety system check. The weight is good. Balance great. I don't see any check lights there. Well, that's a good sign. There's no GPS either. Gonna have to rely on fields to find my way back?
Holy shit! That's amazing!
And that was my very first initial takeoff, ladies and gents. Was it difficult? Just took countless hours of reading and learning about physics and equations. I know aviation school would have been ideal right now, but you know, sometimes you just have to work with what you got. I'll be darned. So I'm a pilot now, huh? I was running low on medical supplies, and instead of making multiple runs back and forth, I decided to make one trip that would last me for some time, but there's a catch. Okay, I'm gonna have to pretend like this place is not creepy at all, and the supplies that I do find around here are more rewarding than whatever is inside of this place. How do I put this to you guys? Klinovnik Hospital was used more like a medical facility for a very special group of people. Those patients were diagnosed with psychotic behavior. Those who weren't healing from a treatment, they were taken downstairs to conduct a very special procedure or procedures. Based on today's world, as you might have already noticed, those quote-unquote medical procedures didn't help them much. In fact, it did something completely different. The substance that was used to numb their nerves ended up killing their nervous system completely, making those patients more like puppets. And I'm assuming now you see a bigger picture as to what happened on this island. Well, these freaks are scattered around this whole place. Their behavior worsens by the day until they become completely unresponsive, or a better way to put it would be unrecognizable. The smell of this place is worse than the looks of it. There's definitely someone on the side. The amount of medical supplies I'll find here will probably last me for quite a bit. I'll assume for at least a year. Maybe. You know, whatever I don't use, I could just sell it for a good fortune. You know, the fact that the smell is literally going through my gas mask should be enough of an indicator that this place is just a rotten hazard. I just hope I don't get sick from breathing all of this in. After spending the majority of my time exploring the hospital, I came to realize that the majority of this hospital was already empty, and the medical supplies I was hoping to find here were not here at all. Leaves me thinking that somebody must have already explored this prior to my arrival, and my initial plan isn't going to work. I could have sworn I didn't see any signs of other trespassers. This place is dead, although I will say based on how massive this place is, it does surprise me that there are no hordes of puppets just roaming around. But what if they're actually heading out more towards the south side? It's a lot warmer out there, and the
there's a decent amount of wildlife along with some humidity, and I'm sure the heat doesn't really bother them that much. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's quiet, perhaps too quiet. Some of these containers have already been opened, and wow, that's strange. I'm going to make my way back to my getaway car. I try to leave my vehicles here on this side of the island, or I try to keep them separated. That way when I'm around here and I need some extra storage, I can try to use one of these vehicles here to transfer the goods to my plane, which will then leave the part of this island and will be transported over to my base. It might seem like it's a lot of hustle, but that's the most time-efficient way of doing things. Excuse me. Alright, let's leave this place. Okay, we should be close by. I'm pretty sure this is the bridge. Yep, it is. I keep my car locked and I carry the key with me. Could somebody steal it? Sure. Will I be able to track the vehicle down? Probably not. But there is also another vehicle down the street that I could probably get going. It just unfortunately I have no time for it. Not right now. Now, in my opinion, the best transportation has been one of these bad boys, simply because I can use it in the water and on land. It's not gas efficient, which means I have to fill it up a lot more frequently compared to my other vehicles, but a simple convenience to be able to take this nearly anywhere I want it is just enough for me to deal with the negative side of things. Here we go. Gosh, aren't you special? Starts right up, flies like a charm, have caused me no headache. The takeoff can be a little slow compared to other planes, but just like I said, I'll take the convenience of having this around. Okay, let me just put this jacket on real quick. It's getting chilly. There you go, much better. I've been flying a lot more compared to driving in general. In fact, I hardly ever drive unless it's a very short distance, of course. I built myself a Harley that just sits around, and I mainly use that for my pure enjoyment. Mainly, I try to fly only during certain operations, the ones that make me some cash on the side, you know. I would love to fly a lot more frequently, solely for my pure enjoyment, but unfortunately gas is very hard to produce, not when the oil rig is completely out and nobody cares to do anything about it. It's getting to the point where I almost have to steal it, or worse yet, I just have to fight for gas. I guarantee if anyone else is in need of gas, they're more than willing to fight for it. And that's why I find that stealing is a lot more forgiving, and it does just increase my chances in survival overall. Don't get me wrong, if I have to fight for it as well and there is no option around this, well, then I will, but avoiding conflict in general will get you a long way. Perhaps that's why I survived as long as I have. And this is exactly what I've been talking about this whole entire time. I can land this on fields if I need to. Now, I will say the wheels here were designed solely for emergency landing only, or I'd say preferably. But I try to make my landings lighter, and I give myself more time to come to a complete stop. Or at least I try to. Right now, when I get low enough to the ground, I try to solely depend on the wind that's pushing me through, rather than just my engine. You got this, come on. Perfect. Nice. This is definitely a very easy plane to learn how to fly on. Sadly, this trip wasn't as beneficial as I was hoping it to be, but I still managed to find some leftover stuff that I can certainly use. Regardless, we came back in one piece, and there's always just another day. Perhaps next time we get lucky.